I am Rob Johnson. I'm with JMT Consulting. I'm going to be with you this morning. So we are going to get started. Great. Good deal. I'm happy to be with you this morning. I am Rob Johnson from JMT Consulting, and I will be your presenter for the next 30 minutes. We're going to talk about working virtually. And before we get started, I'll just put an old picture of myself up there so you can see what I looked like 150 years ago. As we get started, JMT Consulting was founded by our current CEO and Jackie Tiso, who founded our business in 1991. She came out of an accounting and nonprofit background, and in the late 80s began doing implementations for the nonprofits that she was working with, and found it to be very, very difficult. And it was out of that immense struggle that she had that she made the decision to leave the nonprofit that she was with and begin a business helping nonprofits get on current technology, what was current then. And this has become the passion for her for the last almost 30 years. We're in our 30th year now. Today we are an international company. We have 3 offices in North America. Our headquarters is in Paterson, New York, just upstate from the city. We also have a large office in Nashville, Tennessee, where most of our administration, accounting, and HR happens. And then we have a sales and development office in Austin, Texas. We also have an office in Melbourne, Australia. We own a company there in one of the micro verticals that we run. So today we have about 2,000 active clients that we work with. We've been very fortunate to work with and help and support many, many nonprofits, a few of which are here. We're very thankful for the support that we've had through nonprofits. As we get started, I'll explain in brief what we do for a living. This slide, hopefully it's easy for you to read. But if you think about what JMT does for a living, how we help nonprofits, it's through these essential things. The green, the color of our logo, which is really nonprofit financial reporting and accounting. We do a lot of that type of work. We also do business processes and workflow improvement. We have an HR and human resource management, along with time and expense tracking. We do AP automation. We have a cloud hosting business where for a lot of our clients want to be in the cloud but have applications that are not cloud enabled. We're going to talk about that in a minute. We have a hosting business. We have a CRM group where we work with nonprofits who have a CRM that they want to either integrate or they want to develop. And then budgeting and planning is a big part of what we do. So JMT, those are the core functionality. At the heart of that is our consulting practice, which is really to help nonprofits achieve the mission. That's really our focus. As we get started, I want to talk just briefly about the last couple of months that we've been dealing with. And as a person that's been in this industry a long time, I've dealt with this blue screen of death many times in my career. And it's what happens when a computer, in this instance, a computer, has a problem, or it senses a problem, it moves itself into a thing called safe mode. And safe mode is, if you've never seen this before, then you're a very fortunate person. But if you have, then you know what it's done is it's essentially put itself into a place where it can operate, but it doesn't do much. And because what it's trying to do is preserve itself. And so safe mode in a lot of cases is a really good idea. Cars have safe modes, phones have safe modes, almost everything electronic in this way. But we as humans kind of have the same thing. We have a safe mode. And for most of us, we've been in it for a long time here, for the last few months especially. And the challenging part of the safe mode is that, there are times when it's just hunker down, hoard toilet paper, figure out what we need to do to survive. The problem is that once we're in that spot, it's very difficult at times to break out of that, to be back in a place. And so the challenge is, when we feel that way, there are times when it's a good opportunity for us to reflect on our situation and figure out ways to innovate through it. And as businesses or missions or organizations, that's one of the challenges that we all have. Safe mode, both great, absolutely got to have it, especially when you're afraid or you've got a lot of risk in front of you. But it can also be very limiting. And one of the challenges that we all have is how do we break out of that? How do we measure through that? So as we go through this morning for the next 22 minutes, and if you have questions, please feel free. We'll have a moment at the end to talk about that. One of the things that we appreciate about being JMT is that we're not a software publisher. And what that allows us to do is to curate the very best solutions possible for our clients. And software publishers tend to only want to sell stuff they make. And so we are not in the business of that. We're in the business of integrating, collaborating, making sure that things work well together, making sure that you have a seamless operation. But our job is to go out and make sure that we curate and support the very best products and services for nonprofits. And what we do is we look at all the ways that we can impact a nonprofit, and we find the very best tools. And we're going to talk about a few of them today, just at a very high level. So to get started, we're going to start from the financial accounting background. And the first one we're going to talk about is the Sage Impact product today. We're an MIP partner, been an MIP partner for a long time, but today we're going to focus on Sage Intacct. If you're not familiar, Sage Intacct is a true cloud app. And it was created by a group in Northern California in 2004. And for the last 16, 18, 19 years, it's been simply a cloud-based accounting platform that is ideally suited to work well with nonprofits. So the things that make it go well, one, you can use it from anywhere, and that you're dealing with a cloud app if you can bring up the website from your iPhone or from your whatever cell phone or tablet that you have and operate it. And that's what this system does very, very well. It is it has an amazing chart of account structure that includes dimensions, which we have found over the years. We've represented Sage Intacct for 10 years. We're one of the top partners in the country for Sage Intacct. We're the only one that is completely and exclusively dedicated to working with nonprofits. It's all we do today. And the chart of accounts in the Sage Intacct product is amazingly good at helping nonprofits who have often very complicated and complex needs in terms of hierarchy and structure. It's the only software product that is endorsed by the AICPA. And that's kind of a big deal. And we've been very thankful for that. The interesting thing about this product is that it allows you to both manage all of your financial data, but all of your statistical data as well. A lot of times when we're doing outcomes reporting or we want to really understand and get insight into how we're performing, we really need to have statistical data that we can integrate. And this product allows a completely separate statistical ledger. It also has a very robust API, which is a way of talking about integrations. So any other services that you may use in your organization, chances are almost 100% that we can integrate those into the Sage Intacct platform. So things that you would expect today in a platform like this, super tremendous reporting, dashboarding, the ability to get data and to look at data and to make meaningful impact with the data that you have. So we're the other is this. The last thing is this leader in the G2. G2 is a rating agency. There are a bunch of them out there, and they always kind of look. You're always looking at some sort of a chart, and Intacct is always in the upper right quadrant. They're always a top leader. So that's Sage Intacct. That's if you need to work remotely, or if you need to be flexible, or if you need better data, better information, then that's a platform to really consider. The second one I want to talk about is one you may or may not have ever heard of before. It's called Vena. And Vena is it's a budgeting and planning tool. We're the nation's top partner for Vena in terms of, and the reason we are is because nonprofits have absolutely been delighted at working with Vena. Things about Vena that you want to know about it. One that is essentially takes everything that is great about Excel. And what we found is that 99% of all of our nonprofit clients and the nonprofits that we know use Excel. And Excel is amazing in a lot of ways, except in these ways. The formulas are constantly breaking. There are multiple versions of data all strewn across your organization, making it impossible really to collaborate together. All the data is held in Excel itself, making it very, very dangerous and difficult. We have lots of clients that we've worked with that have 100-tab Excel sheets that they're trying to manage, and the risk is just enormous for them if anything breaks. And that's but when you see Vena, and the reason that our adoption rate is so incredibly high with Vena is that it is Excel. It's when you're looking at it, you're taking all of the very best things that you know and love about Excel, and you get them, except you get the opportunity to collaborate. You store your data in the cloud. You can have, you can genuinely work from anywhere with this product, and it's actually terrific. So we're as an organization, we implement Vena frequently, and most of our clients we can get up on Vena very quickly. So if budgeting and planning is an issue and you're struggling with being either in an Excel format or in a Sheets format, which is very challenging to work in, Vena is something that we highly recommend to our clients, and have found that they love working with it. So a thing that many of our clients immediately had problems with after the COVID outbreak, so mid-March on, was how do we pay bills not being able to be in our office? And on the Intech side, those of our clients that were already on Intech, wasn't really a problem, but those that were on other platforms really struggled with that. We have two great partners that we work with on outsourced AP, Bill.com, which is a ubiquitous in the QuickBooks environment, terrific product, and AvidXchange is one that we work with. And these are both outsourced AP processing, and they're also outsourced payments, which means that for our clients that are on these, you're able to handle your entire invoice collection, invoice processing, invoice approval, all the workflows that go with that, as well as all of the payment side, whether it's automated payments or check writing payments, regardless of how that's done. The folks at AvidXchange, and it's a truly great service. So we're the beautiful thing about that is you can manage it from literally anywhere. It's probably one of the busiest things that we've been dealing with, in addition to budgeting and planning over the last few months, is helping folks get set up on a more robust outsourced payment side. And extremely important. Before I go on, there are a ton of other, and this is our job as a consulting firm working with nonprofits, is to sit down with our clients, help understand what are the issues, and then create and put solutions in place that make it easier for you to operate the business or to operate the mission. And I want to talk about some that we use internally that we've also implemented with a number of our clients. Before I do, let me just say the things we're not going to talk about in depth today because we just have a time constraint. So our Salesforce integration is a platform that we operate in. We have consulting that we do around CRM. CRM is one, Salesforce has a great partnership program that they operate with nonprofits, and it's extremely flexible. You can utilize it for a number of areas, and so our folks can assist you in that if that's a thing that you were looking for, trying to get better at. Our cloud hosting product is Ace Cloud Hosting, and that's just a thing that we often partner on. A lot of times people have a blend of both cloud and server-based, single tenant, whatever solutions, and so our consultants help create a unified platform so that you can access all of your work regardless of where you are. So let's go into a couple of these productivity tools that we use internally here at JMT, as well as we've implemented a number of them with our clients. If you've never heard of Asana, Asana is, as you can see on the screen here, it's they call it a Kanban. I don't know if that's a name that you're familiar with, but it stems from a Japanese word, Kanban, and essentially it is it's a board, and it's a way of managing, prioritizing, and collaborating on projects. And so Asana is essentially a way to keep tabs and collaborate on all of the projects. I don't know if you're, we as an organization, and I'm sure y'all as an organizations, have a lot of just internal projects going on, and you need to collaborate internally to get them done. There are other good Kanban style projects management solutions out there. Another one that most people have heard of is Trello, and Trello is also very good at managing just basic project management, collaboration. You can assign lots of different work groups to these. You can have individual tasks. You can assign tasks. You can do lots of things. And so we really do highly recommend. Our whole company uses Asana as just a part of how we manage all of the things that we have going on internally to our company. And we have found that Asana has been a terrific help to us. And Asana it's a completely web-enabled solution. You can use it from anywhere. I manage Asana from my phone, which because I work remotely, as do we all today, but and always have. In addition to Asana, we use a product that many people have heard of because it recently went public. It's a fairly new platform, but Slack is it's a tool to collaborate with. So there's this, having lots of communications, ongoing communications with team members. If you're utilizing email, it's a very difficult platform to have lots of communications with different groups, as well as internal and external groups. The things about Asana and Slack that we like a lot, that both you can, they can be utilized both internally in an organization as well as externally. So you can have, which is essential if you're working with lots of partner groups or other types of groups. Slack is the same. Slack is a platform for communication. It integrates with everything. All the, most of the tools that we operate in or that we have. Slack has an integration which is helpful because you can execute communications from anywhere. So if you're in an intact today and you need to communicate with a client or with a coworker about anything inside of a platform, you can operate from Slack there. You have great records of all the communications. You can create ad hoc groups. You can, it's a fabulous tool for improving the ability to communicate and to create better awareness among groups. So, and we use it for communicating around projects, around work groups, around lunches that are happening, whatever it happens to be. But we highly recommend Slack, and we're big proponents of Slack in terms of creating additional awareness. The last one, the second to last one is G Suite. And G Suite is a platform that we also use. And so G Suite is the Google product suite. And for us, G Suite has been a good platform. And as opposed to like Microsoft 365, there are a lot of reasons that we like G Suite. We like the fact that it's got a wide array of functionality, that Gmail is somewhat ubiquitous, that it's got sheets and a Word that's and it is easy at a basic level to collaborate on things like that. So we appreciate that. So we use that. Plus, we use the data storage, and it's a very good solution, especially if you're working in a remote environment and you need to operate from anywhere, so that it's not based on a server of any form. The last one, and I don't have is Smartsheet, and that's just up here. Smartsheet is the tool that we use for large implementations when we're working with clients. So it's and it really is designed for. So it's, and the difference between, Asana is really an internal tool we use for projects that we're executing inside. But if we're doing a large either consulting project or implementation project, we use Smartsheet, totally a cloud-based app, but it has a much greater degree of complexity in terms of workflow and related workflows, and so its capability is much greater. It also has all of the benefits that you want from a cloud working remotely kind of tool. And so we recommend it, and we also use it internally. And when we're implementing a solution, we're on Smartsheet. The reason that we're on Smartsheet is because we're able to have complete transparency with clients when we're working on a project together. So let me a couple things about JMT, and these are a little commercially, but I appreciate you allowing me the chance to do this. When we're working with a client, we have multiple choices for how we implement. One is an express implementation, which is a super fast, we call a lift and shift implementation. We also have the a plus implementation, which is a little bit longer, 45 days. And these are all on the Express, you have a very templated implementation without a lot of options. On Plus, you have more options. And then the two greater ones, the 6 month is a very comprehensive. I always think of these of like home building. So an Express is a tract home that you buy. It's already painted, got furniture in it, ready to move in. Comprehensive is we're starting from the ground and we're building and designing and doing everything. Our company does both of those equally. We find clients have different needs, and so we want to have different implementations. Our focus is we want to operate on the time frame that you need to operate on, and this goes for whatever we're implementing with you, whether it's full accounting or any of the other tools that we bring to the table. Things about us that are that we just want to make sure you understand. One, we just operate on a flat fixed fee. We don't. We're not a by the hour business. We try to create a guaranteed price that we know that that we all agree on, and that's based on what we think the scope of the work is. We don't do change orders. Every client gets a dedicated project manager. As I said, we use Smartsheet for all of our projects. Every client gets a dedicated project designer, which is different, right? So the project manager is kind of keeping the project on track, communicating both on our side and your side. The designer is really the one that's working with you as the architect. As I said below, or said earlier, we have an array of different ways of training and implementing, and we also do complete integration services as well. This is Anthony Herrera, one of our clients from Educational Alliance. And really, the reason I put that up there is that's the reason you want to work with a company like JMT is that we're exclusively focused on nonprofits, and we're and this is all we do for a living. So we believe that it brings additional value to you to working with somebody. A couple things before we open it up. We're going to be just a minute or two early, maybe. JMT, 30 years in the business of working only with nonprofits, have worked with a lot of nonprofits, and we're your advocate for the long term. We have many clients that have been with us for almost 30 years through an array of different software implementations, and we're thankful for that. And we offer a rapid and affordable implementation. One thing that's not on here is many of our clients are choosing to go with a monthly lease option or a finance option, which we can facilitate for you. We have lots of our solutions that are complete turnkey 3-year deals for less than $1,000 a month to get people going, and it doesn't take long to get you started. With that, if if for any reason we think we can be of service, JMT consulting.com. our first step is what we call discovery, and that's just a way for us to understand if there's anything, the value that we can bring, help you make some just do an analysis of what's going on in your firm. It doesn't cost you a dime. At the end of it, we send you a summary of findings, which gives you a pretty good feel of our best thinking around ways that you might be able to improve the operation of your org. And with that, I don't know if we have questions here or want questions, but let's see here. I don't see any. Hopefully I didn't bore you to tears. If not, let's see. Gosh, I sure appreciate the time today. I happen to be calling you from Jacksonville Beach, Florida, and so we're in the, we're hunkered down. I'd be wearing a mask if I were anywhere but in my office here. Nope. All right. Well, listen, thank you so much for your time today. Don't reach out. Best donor management system. All right. So that's a great question. Best donor management system that is really generally going to be Salesforce is the one that, and look, I could guess and say that, but the thing we would do is do a discovery with you to try to figure out what would be the thing that would make the most sense. We have a lot of clients that are utilizing some form of Salesforce. And the cool thing about Salesforce as a platform for nonprofit is that there are literally a jillion different plugins for Salesforce that help customize the solution for you. But may not be for everybody. So our job is to figure that out for you and with you. So we would we would sit down and do a discovery together and see which one is going to make the most sense for you. We do have an awful lot of clients that are utilizing Salesforce, but it's like anything that it's, you really have to create a way of creating workflows that make it simple to operate. Okay, well, listen, it is 10:29. I'm going to hit stop broadcast and send you on your way. Thank you so much for your time today. Have a great day, everybody, and a happy 4th. Bye.